Hello again, comic book fans. Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Geezers. I am your host, as always, Wild Bill the Unknown Comic, and my partner in crime, my co-host, right out there in cyberspace.
What's going on, everybody? Glad you can join us once again here on Comic Book Geezers. We got another special show for you today. We're going to look at another classic Marvel title called Astonishing Tales, one of those books that featured lots of different characters over the course of its somewhat short run. Why they chose Astonishing Tales, where they already had Tales to Astonish before it, I have no idea. I guess they like the Astonishing name, but Bill's got a good chunk of those. I have some, but not a ton, and I've got one that he doesn't have. So Bill's going to do the majority of the show, but I'll add some color commentary. So some good-looking books, a lot of cool characters, like I said. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, Pete. My first and only issue in my collection was issue 13, but we'll get to it. I have them all except number 12. Didn't accumulated them all within the past 4 years since I started collecting in 2016. So I had a chance to get number 12 at a con we were at, but it was in rough shape for $1. I was like, I'll look around for a better copy. So I passed on it. It was in my hands, but I gave it up because it was a rag. But that's all right. There'll be another day. So, ooh. Issue number 1. Artwork by Jack Kirby. He does the Doctor Doom story, and a guy named Wally Wood does the art for the second story. But this, I believe, is a Jack Kirby cover. And,
so again, initially a book meant to feature two different characters. So you got Kazar and Doctor Doom. It would kind of morph a bit over the course of its history. But
so is this kind of like the first Doctor Doom issue? You know, because he always appeared in Fantastic Four or other titles, but this is like the first title that I'm aware of that promotes Doctor Doom.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, I know there was Marvel Superheroes. He appeared in issue 20.
Right, they gave him a solo spot in that.
Issue. That was only a one-issue story. This is multiple issues because this went on for about 7 or 8 issues with Kazar and Doctor Doom.
Yeah, Marvel couldn't get enough of Doctor Doom because in addition to all the appearances in Fantastic Four and occasionally in Avengers, he was in Astonishing Tales and then, of course, the supervillain team-up. So they tried very hard to keep Doc Doom at like the forefront of everybody's mind, and I think they did a good job of that for many years.
Here's issue 4. Again, split stories. I think Pete's going to like the next cover. Who's the other guy right up there with Doctor Doom? The Red Skull.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's issue 5. Now, issue 6 is up. It's the first appearance of somebody. I don't remember who. Might be this dude up here. But this is a first appearance. There's a storyline in here. This one's a little bit pricier than the others because of the first appearance character in here.
The Man God, the Demon. I don't know who that is.
I think it's a first appearance. There's a storyline in here. I forget the details, man, but there's a first appearance of a particular character in here. And of course, I can't remember now when I'll find out later, but you guys can tell us in the comments. So that one's a little bit pricier than the other ones, obviously with number 1. This is issue number 7. And then you get number 8. Again, Kazar and Doctor Doom, but this one, the cover is dominated by Kazar. Then we get to number 9. And I think at this point, we don't have any more Doctor Doom.
Yeah, it's all Kazar at this point, and it's a nice Gil Kane cover on that.
Yeah, so Kazar's taken over at this point with the series. Again, this is kind of like a series where a not-so-famous character can kind of get his start and see if the public likes him before they decide to give him his own book. But Kazar was always like a supporting character. He showed up with Spider-Man, Daredevil. So Kazar was, in my opinion, I always thought Kazar was Marvel's answer to Tarzan.
Yep.
They couldn't use Tarzan because DC was using him, and So they came up with Kazar, and it's amazing how Kazar has a lot of similar letters like Tarzan.
Another Gil Kane cover. And, I was reading the other day, now that you bring up Tarzan, when Marvel launched that Tarzan book back in the late 70s, apparently for contractual reasons, they could not continue during that time period with the Kazar character. So Kazar did not show up anywhere in Marvel during that Tarzan run. So it wasn't until they... What's that?
From DC, while DC was doing Tarzan?
No, well, when Marvel did the Tarzan book, Marvel had that Tarzan book for like 2 years or whatever. So during that time, they could not use the Kazar character at all simultaneously while they were printing the Tarzan book. Kind of interesting little tidbit there.
That was a contractual thing, or they thought it was conflict of interest?
It was a contractual thing. In order for them to use the Tarzan character, they had to stop using Kazar during that run. So because Kazar obviously was their version of Tarzan. So apparently for them to use Tarzan, they had to stop using Kazar for that time period. So a little kind of interesting.
Because later on in the late 70s, they came out with a volume 2 of Kazar.
Right. And I guess by then the Tarzan run was already done.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
I have number 2 of that, but it's not in this show. This is number 13. I always thought this was the first appearance of the Man-Thing, but Pete says it's number 12. I don't have number 12.
So let's back up. So, all right. So here's number 12. So this is the first appearance of Man-Thing in a color Marvel comic. The character appeared in Savage Tales #1, the black and white magazine, written by Len Wein and drawn by Neil Adams. So here we actually have, and they actually reprint that in this issue of Astonishing Tales, and I'll show you what it looks like here. So here's Man-Thing kind of popping up for the first time in the book, and then it begins the reprint of the initial Neil Adams drawn Man-Thing storyline from Savage Tales. So what they do is they basically reprint that whole story here, and then at the end, all of a sudden you get the confrontation between Man-Thing and Kazar, which leads into the book that Bill has, which is the first cover appearance of Man-Thing. So now you can take it over from there.
Which I already showed, so I'm going to jump ahead to issue 14. Again, great like dinosaur action covers, Kazar number 15. I'm calling it Kazar now. Because it's mainly Kazar. Again, Astonishing Tales number 16.
That's a great cover.
And, it's interesting because Tarzan had Cheetah, and he's got the saber-toothed tiger.
Zabu.
Zabu, okay. It was kind of like, I wish I could have brought a saber-toothed tiger to school to help get the bullies off my back when I was growing up. That would have been awesome. It's pure fantasy. But yeah, I love the colors. Now, I never heard of this character before.
He looks familiar, though. Like I've seen him before. He shows up in a
lot of books, this dude. Yeah. I think he's in some Thor. Or is that the 3D man? I'm thinking this is the 3D man.
Yeah.
I forget. This is issue 18.
Gog.
Yeah.
Isn't Gog the same creature that was in that
Monsters on the Prowl? Or
the Monsters on the Prowl, but wasn't he also because Kazar appeared in some old Hulks? Wasn't Gog in one of those Hulks? I don't remember.
That sounds familiar, but wasn't it more like a muck monster, like the Man-Thing? Was that the Glob?
It was like a giant like orange creature. I don't remember. There's so many creatures in these books. Oh, that's a good one too. Look at that.
Yeah, this has got some good fight scenes in here. Number 20. Okay.
Johnny
now
Romita.
This is the last Kazar. Now this was a bi-monthly book. So now we switch over to this is when I was a kid. I had this, and this is the only thing I knew of Astonishing Tales was this monster.
I believe that was the first one I got. That's the first one I got as well.
And he was only ironically in it for 3 issues.
Yep.
But this is, I believe that's the gargoyle he's fighting, I believe.
Yep.
And again, pretty cool.
Those issues are very good.
I think I got this one from you a few years ago.
I think I had doubles.
Yeah,
it's a good
I
one.
remember you got this one for me. Actually, I'm sorry, I went 4 issues. This is the last of them. This is number 24. Very cool. If you like monsters and stuff.
Who's he fighting? Fin Fang Foom there? Yes, he is. That's right. Classic Jack Kirby giant monster. Gotta love it.
Yeah, here it is right there.
Yep, gotta love it.
Then the title takes another turn and introduces a new character.
Yeah.
First appearance, Deathlok. Also, whose artist's first appearance in this? Pete?
I do not remember.
Not enough time. You lost.
I
George
don't remember.
Perez.
George Perez. Okay, there you go.
But he doesn't do the story. He does some artwork for a puzzle or something in the back. It has nothing to do with the storyline. He did something completely different, but this book is like, because it's George Perez's first work in Marvel Comics.
Wow.
And here it is. No, I'm kidding. He did something in here, man. And I'm not sure if it's this page. He did something that had nothing to do with the storyline. Because there's no credits in this book for George Perez. Right? So down here, can you see that?
Yep. Doug Mensch.
Is that coming through?
Yeah.
Right? No mention of George Perez anywhere in there, is there?
No. Rich Buckler. No George Perez.
He did the artwork, and I'm not sure if it's that page I showed you, but he did some kind of puzzle or something, and it might be that diagram, because everything else is a storyline.
And I bought that back on the stands, and I remember thinking, what a great character and different type of book. I mean, a great artwork in these. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the first, I'm going to say that this is the character that inspired James Cameron's The Terminator. Because this guy is half man, half cyborg, or even RoboCop, because RoboCop predates The Terminator.
Yep.
This guy was murdered, I believe, and he was brought back to life, to save his life, they replaced all his body parts with robotic parts. Kind of predates the Bionic Man, $6 Million Man, Steve Austin.
Right, by not much, because that was right about the same time, yeah. And for all of you who missed it, we actually did a Deathlok episode back, like 2 years ago, Bill, at
1974.
least? 74 is when the first debut? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably the actual title is August, and we know they always produce 3 or 4 months in advance. So this was probably made in May of 74, that book. So Deathlok continues on in issue 26, issue 27, and it's just like each cover seems he gets in more and more trouble.
Oh yeah, that's a great one right there.
And it's almost like Deathlok is kind of like I don't want to say schizophrenic, but it's a dual personality. His humanity side of his brain controls his body, but the robotic part is controlled by a computer. So he's always got, through his eye, he's got his scanners, his computer diagnostics of whatever he's analyzing, like his depth range. He can tell how far away an enemy is. He's got infrared vision, and the computer is always offering statistical advice, and he always overrides those suggestions with human interaction. So there's a constant struggle between him and the computer part of his body. Then for some reason, maybe it has to be a deadline issue, they reprint Guardians of the Galaxy. This is issue 29. This appeared in, wasn't it Marvel Superheroes, I believe?
I think so, yeah.
Right? But That's worth over $100 because of the friggin' movie that came out. This is a reprint. I bought this at a flea market and I got ripped off because there's 4 pages missing in the centerfold.
No way.
And then I saw the guy later on when I bought books, and I used that, I brought it to his attention. Hey, man, that was a great book, but because it was a little bit more pricey because of that. But how about charge me that price with all the pages in there? So anyway, he made good. There was some goodwill there. I think I got this from you too, Pete. Number 30.
It's a good one. Picked right back up.
I don't remember if I got this from you also.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you know what? I think we might have got this at a con. This might be from the New Paltz guy. Or no, Eric. Remember Eric?
Yep.
Yeah, because that's his handwriting on the back.
There you
Price.
go.
Yeah, this is from Eric. Eric, I hope you're watching, dude. We haven't heard from you in a while, man. He doesn't write comments and nothing. He's busy. This is from the dude in New Paltz when we went to a con. Issue number 32. Again, great action. Single story. And it's going to be Deathlok all the way to the end of the run, which was 36 issues.
I think a character and storylines that were kind of ahead of their time, because when you think about what they were doing in a lot of these books, like Bill was talking before about, all the computerized this and that. I mean, this is mid-70s. There really wasn't a lot of that stuff going on right back then. So very, very ahead of its time.
Yeah, very far-fetched, very futuristic, you know. This, I believe I got from my friend Joe when he gave me his collection when we were teenagers. I got this one from Joe, my buddy Joe. Thanks again, Joe. And I can prove it. Let's see. Joe had a trademark. I'm going to show you Joe's trademark if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure. Nope. He used to write Joey. He used to write. I'll just show you. He used to write Joey B up on top because his last name starts with a B. But I'm pretty sure I got that from him. I think I had this copy also when I was a kid. I remember this copy very well.
Yeah, I was big into those Deathloks when they came out in Astonishing Tales. I bought all of those off the rack. Those were really good, and I still have them. In fact, it's funny because I think in my collection, these are all bills we're showing here, but I'm pretty light on the Doom Kazar stuff from the beginning. But I have all the whole Deathlok run. That's quite good. I enjoy those quite a bit. In fact, make sure you go watch our Deathlok episode if you haven't seen it, because we show all those and other stuff that he appeared in.
Now, where would you find that in the playlist?
Go to the Marvel playlist, guys. That's where you can find it.
All right. Just checking. Last issue in the run, I just picked this up last year, maybe a year and a half ago. Issue 36, another great cover.
How Steranko-ish is that cover? I mean, that's like, in fact, who drew that? Is that a Buckler cover? I know that I can see the artist's name in the bottom there.
Let's see. You are correct. 1976, Rich Buckler.
All right. Very Steranko-ish. Nice job there, Rich.
And that concludes Astonishing Tales. And if you don't have any of these issues and you collect comics, definitely cool to have in your collection. I highly recommend it. And that's it for Astonishing Tales. I'm Wild Bill from Comic Book Geezers saying thanks for being here with us. Thank you for all your subscriptions, your comments, and your support. And we hope you like what we're doing. And we're going to keep going. Our next issue is going to be artist tribute to Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott, artist and inker team up. So stay tuned for that.
You don't want to miss it, guys. It'll be a fun one. So we'll see you then in a couple days. Take care. Have a good one. Signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.